everyone, and welcome to another video by Shadow Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing another of my Hero Factory Transformers MOCs, and this one is Storm, simply Storm. Kind of reminiscent of Surge, but, you know, Storm and Surge. Storm Surge, yeah. So, anyway, this is another one of the rookies that Hero Factory has built. After the Beast attacked them, if you've been following the story with all my MOCs so far. So, yeah. So here he is in his ship mode. As you can see, he is a pretty nice ship, you know. Has some nice fins. Has some nice colors to him. And, yeah, I think he's pretty good in his ship mode. There's some gaps in him, you know. Like, you know, the expected body gaps between the joints. A little bit gappy up here. It doesn't really bother me so much. Had his head down there. The biggest gap would probably be, like, right in there. Because as you can see, there's absolutely nothing in that area. You can kind of fix that with depending on how much you angle up the legs. Just as you can see, these are legs that are angled up a little bit. If you angle them up more, you might be able to close the gap a little more, but that's all up to you. I'm just going to keep them here right now just to save time. So yeah, you know, you have his hands here, and I showed you his head. Here are his feet and his legs, you know. Here's the front of them, and I think the cockpit section is really cool. I wanted to do a cockpit where this was up at front, you know, and now I've done that. It just looks really awesome, and I just think it looks really cool like that, you know. I mean, just look at that. That looks so cool when it's coming towards you from the front. But yeah. Colors are pretty good. They flow well together. Most things are black or red or trans orange. With some gunmetal and some silver here and back here. Color that really kind of stands out is these orange back here. I don't think they stand out too much since these are kind of trans orange red. So it matches just a little bit. But if you wanted to swap those out with like black or silver, I don't even think they make three long armor shells in silver, but if you want to switch that out, you could. Has these back fins back here, whatever they're called, you know, the ones that stick up on a plane. They go up and down, have the flaps in the back. You know, those are there. You have your booster back here, but I guess you could see this hole as being a booster. You can see these being boosters too if you want to. One kind of problem with this is the wings, because the wings are attached to the arms, and as you can see, the arms are angled up and then back. Since they're attached to the upper arm that's angled up, the wings, because of how they're oriented, are kind of almost completely just flat forward, which, talking just technically, that is just completely unaerodynamic. Now you could do this to make more aerodynamic, but that just looks like a weird way to fly with such a long ship. So that's a bit of a problem. There's not really much you can do about it unless you were to, just showing you real quick, like they were attached like this, you could maybe spin them around like that, but you'd still get the same problem and perhaps even worse. So there's not much you can do to fix that. You can fiddle around with the arms and how they're placed, but ultimately it's just going to be stuck like that. I mean, from the front, it looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm just talking about how far these stick up, and just, that looks really cool. It's just, technically speaking, you'd have a lot of trouble flying with the wings just this far angled forward. Now, the wings have a little bit of movement. You can move them up if you wanted to, for whatever reason. Maybe landing. You can move them down, which I prefer for landing. You can do that. You can tuck them all the way in, which that looks kind of cool. You know, you can do that if you want to land. But, yeah, you know, you have a little bit of up-down with it. It doesn't really fix anything unless you were to just angle them all the way back. It's that it wouldn't be so much air resistance. Now it still look pretty cool, but I like them up here so that everything's just kind of flared out and just looks awesome. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for vehicle mode. Here's the bottom if you want to see. You know, everything's mostly exposed. Here's a side view. You know, you've seen the top a lot. Here's from the front, and I think you've seen the back already. So yeah, it's a pretty good vehicle mode. There's no weapon storage, unfortunately. I mean, you could find places for it. You could stick it in some of the gaps, you know, here. You could put it here as like a middle fin if you want. But I prefer to leave it off just so I have this, because this looks just so cool. But yeah, now the vehicle mode, you know, you've seen it. So now let's move on to the robot mode. So first what you want to do is you're going to pull this up. Then you're going to spin that around so that the hollow part is back here. You're going to just lay that down on the silver chest plate as far as you can. Now what you want to do is come back here and split the hands, which is connected with this red axle. Straighten out the hands and the arms, just like so. And yeah, so put them down like so. And then what you want to do is you're going to pull these up, got to bend them like this, spin this around, put this all the way up, and these have no armor on them, just if you were wondering. Pull these down and then put these blades up like that. Just rest them up there like that, up on the shoulder, I guess. Well, I guess that's what that would be. So just you know, do the same on the other side. Just kind of rest them up there, and yeah. So for the legs, simply just straighten them out like that, and then you have his legs. Arms are actually pretty much done. You know, you have them down here, have your wings. Let's angle up. So let's just stand him so we can keep going. You can angle these wings back if you want, just so that they're not so flared out. That's up to you. I'm gonna angle them back though. So yeah, now what you want to do is these won't fit down over the head like that, so you are going to split them. They're just connected with a red peg as well. You're going to pull the head up and spin it around, and you're going to pull these down as like kind of a collar, I guess. And just like that, and like that, you're going to reattach them down here. Next, you're just going to pull them as far down as you would like, or just far down as they can kind of go. Just press them up to the body. Give everything a good squeeze from back to front. You can't see that, but it's just a squeeze. And, you know, just kind of straighten everything out. Get everything how you want it. So, without further ado, right here you have Storm in his robot mode. It's a pretty nice robot mode, and it does have some differences from what I would normally do in it. But let's just take a look at him from the front. You know, I have your legs down here, got your chest, got your arms, and yeah. So here's a side view. I'll just move the wing out the way. Has a bit of a backpack. It's kind of thick, but it's not too bad, I guess. Not much worse than normal. I mean, you could just, if you just manipulate it where you put everything you could, like, you know, make it shorter, except for this part, that's just going to flare out, period. What you could do is maybe spin these around and straighten this out, which, yeah, I guess it doesn't help, but, I mean, I guess it all depends on how you do it. You could do that if you wanted to. But I just like having them down there, and them being compacted and folded up. Here's them from the back, have this, you know, space here. And yeah, you know, he's a pretty nice figure. I think he's a good figure. You know, he does have his problems though, but overall he's pretty nice. The colors match well, like I said. Have your silver down here and on the back, and a little bit on the chest. Have your black, gunmetal, and a little bit of trans orange, and a little of orange. But those match, so they're not that bad. And he does have a blue head, which, again, you know, because it's my Surge head and because it looks cool. Plus, you know, it kind of fits this guy. So for articulation, we're going to start with the arms. They can go up, depending on how how far back you pull the wings. They can go up that far max. They could go back. Like I said, it all depends on where you put the wings and how you rotate them. So they can go back. Oh man, that's pretty limited. You can go back just because they're running into this armor shell this far. If you were to lift up this chest just a bit, you don't get that much movement, so you don't go back that far. Only goes forward about this far, or just up. If you move these out to the side, it looks like you can get a little more movement, you know, like that. So I guess you're not too limited with it. I showed up. It does rotate a little limited by the armor shell once again. Putting this back down. Just keeping everything together. So it goes, bends at the elbow about 90 degrees. move that out your face, and you have all your hand articulation. So let's get the legs to go forward about that far. They go back about this far. They bend at the knee. Have to move the chest plate out to the side to get it to bend about 90 degrees. As you can see, foot can't move out at all, but it can move in, back, forward, you know, move like that. So yeah, you're not that limited. But now we're just going to go to his most limited part of himself. Probably already guessed that because it's the only one we haven't done articulation for in this video, the head. Unfortunately, because of how this collar works, the head is very, very limited. So, getting him looking straight on, he can go down that far, he can look up that far, and turn his head that far, go side to side, and a little bit of head tilt if you want that. Overall, it's just so limited that the head movement really is almost non-existent. I mean, if you're familiar with the Leela figure that Bionicle did, it's pretty much that situation. He has his collar, and because of the, you know, wanting to have that collar look, the head gets very limited. I mean, you can maybe get it looking this far, which is almost completely to the right, but I mean, overall, you're just not going to get that much movement out of it. It's kind of sad, though. I mean, it's unfortunate, because, I mean, this guy is very cool looking. He has a lot of cool on him, and it would be nice to have more head articulation, because that's one of the most expressive parts of our bodies, you know, the head, you know, the tilts that we do. But you just can't get all that with this figure, mostly because of this. And the reason I have this kind of collar is because when I built this guy, I was kind of testing out an idea for a later mock that I want to do. So I put on this collar, and as you can see, it looks good, but it doesn't really work out that well. So when I build that later mock, I'll know, you know, kind of its effects in this configuration, and I'll make sure to adapt that mock to be able to do this kind of the same thing and not have it be super limited. But for now, this is all I have. So anyway, things got knocked around. So let's put them back. Yeah, so this is a good mock, you know, like I said, colors flow. You do have these wings out here, which can be kind of cumbersome on the arms. If you just have them, you know, completely straight. Like this, then they're out, they go out like pretty far. But good thing you can bend them back pretty far as well. So if he's going through a thin hallway, it's not as much of a problem. I mean, if you don't like how the wings are, you're probably going to have to make some pretty drastic changes to this mock, or maybe just add to them an extra joint. But as it is, what I just like to do is just kind of bend them back a little so that they're not quite so wide. But yeah, that's pretty much everything, except for the weapon, which is this right here. It's, excuse me, kind of a little bit of a melee weapon, I guess, you know, because you can hit people with it. It's got, you know, the size, but it has all these blades, so it's kind of a bladed weapon as well. It is a staff, so this is the bottom, this lightning piece. But yeah, it's a little bit of the reason he's called Storm. So you can just put it in his hand, with this at the top, this curved part going like that, and this with the jagged edge facing forward. So, let's give you a look. That's how it's supposed to go. And it's a cool staff, you know. I definitely like it. I think it's really cool to use this, you know, because this is usually the bottom of a hilt for the sword of a figure, and now it's just the top and main part of the weapon. So, yeah, you know, it has his limitations, you know. Has things about him that maybe you don't like as much. But I think he's still a good mock. So for the story on this guy, like I said, sometime in this video, he is a rookie, one of the new rookies Hero Factory has built, and he's the apprentice to Skystorm, not Skyblade, Skystorm. So he's his apprentice, and he helps that Skystorm, which is pretty much the same story as Dagger and Triggerlock. So yeah, that's about all. And just coming up with something right now, you know, they're all searching for the beast, you know, trying to find them, trying to stop them. But they can't find them because the beast have Surge, and Surge got smart, and you know, he's evading them really well. So yeah, just trying to think of anything more that I want to share with you guys. not really. That's about all I have. These are Bionicle blades, like I've mentioned before, but I don't really care because they look cool and they glow in the dark. But yeah, you can see, just overall, he does have a little bit of a rookie look to him. You know, just with kind of the thin arms here. But, you know, he does look like he does still have some experience. He is kind of thin looking, though. That is one thing. You know, he's kind of thin here and here. But overall, it's not that bad. And I don't think he's bad at all, actually. Yeah, besides the head, you know, lack of head movement, he's a really good figure. He looks good. He plays pretty well. And yeah, so enough of me talking. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. And don't forget to subscribe for more mock content. And I will see you guys later.